What's up, everybody? Ron Harris here, MD Online Editor. I would just say the Masters Olympia wrapped up, but it wrapped up a few minutes ago. I wanted to hear the acceptance, the victory speech of Kamal Elgargni. I wanted to hear him because I like Kamal a lot. I wanted to hear what he had to say. So Kamal Elgargni is your Masters Mr. Olympia champ 2023. First Masters Olympia champ since 2012. There was a little factual error. They were saying he's the first guy to win it in two divisions because he was the 212 Olympia champion in 2019, and now he's the 2023 Masters Olympia. But it's been so long, I think people forget. I forgot. 2012, the last year that the Masters Olympia was held, Dexter Jackson won that in Florida. They had it in Florida, Miami, and he had obviously won the Mr. Olympia in 2008. But congratulations, Kamal looked amazing. Just as good as he ever had. It's tough with somebody like Kamal to say this is the best I've ever seen him because I've seen Kamal look so good every time. I mean, when he won the Arnold 212, he looked amazing. When he won the 212 Olympia, he looked amazing. I thought even last year when he took second to Kim Williams in Tampa, crazy good look for him. He's about 220 pounds. He's not a 212 anymore. He's not a lot heavier, but you see the fullness, especially in his shoulders and his quads. When he goes down to 212, he loses his quad sweep. He had it here today. He was so detailed, crispy, dry, mature muscle. So let's run down. Second place, big congratulations to Max Charles from originally from Haiti, been living in New York many years. Max Charles, this is the best I've seen Max in a very long time. He was back working with the mind, Milos Sarshev. I gotta say your name right, Milos. Crazy, he looked amazing today. His legs, actually, my knock on Max, everyone's knock on Max, was his legs, especially the quad sweep, didn't really match that insane shoulder and upper back width that he has. His legs look better today than I think I've ever seen them. And he's, according to one bio online, it says he's 43. I think he might be a little older than that, but let's just give him 43. Max, I don't know how he did it, but his legs look better than ever at 43 or 45, whatever he really is. You don't see many guys, unless they just started bodybuilding recently, making improvements to their legs, but Max did. Usually over 40, the legs go down. Third place, Phil Clayhar, the Jamaican tank. I was rooting for Phil. He looked really good. I've seen him sharper. I was talking to Giles about this, and I don't think Phil's ever competed outside the U.S. before. It's tough. It's tough to make these international trips, have all your food ready, have different time zones. It's a big adjustment. So somebody like Kamal, who's competed internationally many times, a veteran at it. Even Max has competed internationally a bunch of times. Phil, I don't know, but he was a little bit off his best today, but still looked really good. Fourth place, give it up to Fred Biggie Smalls from Delaware. I think Fred, who just won the Tampa Masters Pro a couple weeks back, I think Fred looks better as a Masters than he did, before he started doing Masters. Not sure how old Fred is. He's probably about 45, I'm guessing, maybe a little older than that. Great condition for Fred. He does have a pretty noticeable pec tear. It's on the right, so it's left. It's his left pec that's torn. But man, Fred, and of course, posing, if they had a best posing award of any type, Fred would have gotten that paycheck for sure. Fred's very entertaining. He's a great dancer. He busts out like the moonwalk. He does splits in the air. Fifth place, give it up to Ken Jackson from Michigan. Ken's a guy who's been sort of in and out of competing a few times over the years. This is probably the best I've ever seen Ken. Not sure who he worked with, but he looked really good. I mean, I've known Ken for years and years. I mean, back in like the mid-2000s when I was with Gaspari, he was a Gaspari athlete, so I'd see him at the functions. And the times I saw him compete, I was never that impressed with his condition. And today he could have been sharper from the back, but man, he really put it together. And I think fourth and fifth could have been interchangeable with him and Fred. They both looked really good. So some guys did not make top five. The rest of the top 10, I don't have the order, but Slavoj Bednar from Czech Republic was in the top 10. Mike Eli was not. Who else posed? Rusty Jeffers, who's 59 years old, has a crazy handlebar mustache. He's been competing for probably like 40 years, this guy. Looking good. Sergio Lima from the UK. Michael Lynn from New York. Michael Lynn, I always say he's like a long-lost cousin or something, or uncle of Dennis Wolf. Very similar look in the face. Best condition I've ever seen him in. Not a huge guy, but he was prepped by Goob. John Dorsey, I follow him on YouTube, Goob U2. He's always calling out the fitness influencers who Photoshop their pictures. I get a kick out of that. So yeah, Kamal, what else did he say? Apparently Kamal is only 50. I've been saying 52 for Kamal for over a year now. Apparently he turns 52 in November. So I had Kamal as a little older than he actually was. He's 51. He's turning 52. Still, to be on top of your game at 52 or almost 52, it's unheard of. It's unheard of. This is not a guy who just started bodybuilding, started competing. He said he's been bodybuilding 33 years. I don't know if that means competing. Pretty sure he's been competing since at least the mid-90s. It's been a very long time. So I'm going to give him like 30. I'll say 30, at least 30 years. So good for him, man. That's awesome. And man, he was hard as nails, especially his Christmas tree, his back detail. There was so many lumps and bumps and grooves and notches in there. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's see. What'd you think? For those of you who watched it, let's see. What you got? What you got on my live chat, guys? Also, props to them for getting this thing wrapped up so quick. I thought it was going to go a lot longer, honestly. Let's see. Myself says congratulations, Kamal. Lon Powers, congratulations. Kamal looks effing awesome. That was by Anton Hallegren. It was held for review, probably because of the F-bomb. Oh, well. M12, yes, Kamal is dominating today. I like when somebody wins and there's no argument about it, because I can sense the hurt of people when their guy took second and they were like, this was a screw job. Like, I've had a lot of Dave Henry fans messaging me. Not a lot, but about a dozen. People really felt he should have beat Hide. You know, I thought they were neck and neck. It could have gone either way, and somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. But it was very apparent today Kamal was the winner. He was just best condition, balanced body, just flawless posing and presentation. A true veteran. Everything the Masters Olympia should be. He really embodies that. Let's go King Kamal, says Mario Ultimate. Oh, well, you're talking about King Kamal. There is a King Kamali, not to be confused with Kamal Elgargni. One's originally from Persia, Iran, and one's from Libya. Mario Ultimate Art, in my opinion, Max got robbed. Robbed in second? No. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it, but I strongly disagree with you. I do not think Max Charles got robbed. He looked very good. He did not look better. There's no way in my mind he was beating Kamal. I mean, second place. It's nothing to sneeze at. It's just my opinion, no hard feelings. But it's a subjective sport. We all have our opinions, our rights to our own opinions. So if one of you guys thinks somebody didn't make the top 10, should have been the Masters Olympia today, who are we to say you're wrong? Maybe they should have won. I don't know. No, probably not. Judges know what they're doing, guys. M12, Steve did work them hard. So many posing rounds. He always does. I think I've seen, there's only a few head judges. Bill Sabilla head judges a lot. Tyler Mannion head judges a lot of the pro shows. Bill Sabilla. I've seen a few, and I think Steve definitely works them the hardest, makes them go through the mandatories multiple times, switching them, their placing back and forth, working the crap out of these guys, which is, especially if you're at these events and you paid a lot of money to go there and be there, you want a show. You don't want it to be over in 5 minutes, right? Congratulations. Fred Smalls is 60 years old. No, he's not. Fred is not 60 years old. Sean, the Motivator Brown. He's not 60. He's not older than me. I believe he's about, like him and Jose Raymond are very good friends. Jose's not even 50 yet. I don't think Fred's, I'll try to find it later, but I'm very sure he's not 60 yet. I don't even know if he's 50. It doesn't matter. He's over 40. He only had to be over 40 to be this. M12 says, at least this time wasn't controversial and biased as a result of the 212 Masters, because the 212 results were stupid. Yeah, you could see, there's Branch. Yeah, Branch, where you going? It was National Dog Day yesterday. Now come say hi. Come here, Papas. It was National Dog Day. Here, I gotta make some room for him. Get up. That's my good boy. A good boy. What a good pit bull. Such a good boy. Yeah. All right, now you gotta let Daddy work. He gets his walk later. Yeah, I mean, Dave Henry looked great. And a lot of people were down on Hide because his back development very weak. Dave Henry's back development is phenomenal. It's not a one body part contest, and I'm not defending the judge's decision. I really think it could have gone either way. Each guy had things the other guy didn't, but I probably would have picked David. And I'm much closer, I should say, to Hide. I mean, I've worked with Hide when we were both with Gaspari, interviewed him many times, trained with him. I know Dave a little bit. It's not like I certainly have nothing against Dave. I know Hide just a little bit better. And so, but I still think Dave could have got that win. All right, let's go back to today, the Masters Olympia, instead of dwelling in the past as in yesterday. Let's see, Joseba Ibaragir. What's up, Ron? I'm so happy for Kamal. All the guys look great. Mario. Kamal too small to Max. Well, I mean, there are bigger guys than Max. Does that mean they should beat Max? Yeah, it's not just about size, Mario. Robbery, says Haruki. Well, the Max Charles fans are not happy. I can see that now. It didn't seem to me, I didn't hear any boos. I didn't hear a lot of people getting upset when Max got second. Guys, Max looked great. Don't get me wrong. I was very impressed with Max today. This is the best I've seen Max in a very long time. It's great move with him getting back with Milos. They're a very good client coach team. I hope they continue. And Max looked great. I just think Kamal had a lot of detail going on that he did not. Yeah, if it was just about size, guys, there's plenty of other guys who probably couldn't even make top 10 at this who are technically bigger. Actually, I know there's a few. I see like guys on the list, like guy I know a little bit named Mike Eli. Mike is bigger, far bigger, probably thicker than even Max. And no, he didn't make top 10. Let's see, Alon Powers. How did Fred Smalls place fourth with a pec tear? Yeah, I mean, if he hadn't, somebody'd say they were penalizing him because of a pec tear. But Dorian won a couple Mr. Olympias with one bicep retracted halfway up his arm. I mean, the rest of his physique was very good. M12, Josh was not bad. I think he deserved to be at least a second call out. I didn't watch the judging. It was so early. I'm lazy. I didn't want to get up that early. Giles watched it and did his recap. I'm going to have to go back and look at the footage of Josh because I'm curious to see what he looked like. Haruki, oh no, you can't say that. A. Ignol, Fred is 60. Cute dog, thank you. Small is 47, it says. Yeah, Fred is not older than me. I'm very sure of that, guys. I'm very sure he's not older than me. Like I said, you said 47? Yeah, he's not 60, guys. They even said Rusty Jeffers was 60, and he certainly looks like he could be. He's got all, bald head and a white hair. The mustache is pure white, but he's 59. There's not too many guys that are 60. Well, Egenmuller, I mean, Wikipedia, you can find, I've looked for people's birth dates and stuff online. I found, for one person, sometimes I find like 5 different years. There's no consistency. I mean, who do you believe? I would believe Fred if I asked Fred, but I'm not going to believe anybody else because there's so much inaccuracy online. Lee Carmichael says, I have a feeling Josh didn't return for finals. No way he was out of the top 10. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't see what he looked like, but why wouldn't you come back for finals? You're already in Romania. You went all the way from Australia to Romania. I think he should have gone back for finals if that's the case. Muad bin Musa, Kamal got this one easy. Yeah, he did. Who gives a fuck? Max Charles is robbed here. Kamal is super overrated. Like yesterday, just based on name was awarded. I mean, what name does... Obviously, he's a great champion and everything, but Max has been around forever, too. I don't think there would be any favoritism one way or the other. They're both veterans of the sport. They're both very well established. I can't think of any reason why the judges would have anything against Max or any special reason to reward Kamal. It doesn't matter to them who wins. It really doesn't. It's, neither one of them had skin in the game, I guess. Fred Small is 47, says Luis. Yeah, that sounds right to me. Muad bin Musa. Kamal won 212 and Open, so he is the first. Well, this is an Open. He didn't win the Open, Mr. Olympia. I think you're a little confused here. He won the 212 Olympia, and this is the Masters Olympia. Dexter Jackson won the Open Olympia and the Masters Olympia. So they both won 2 Olympia titles. But, yeah. But Open, no. Kamal didn't win the Open Olympia. I think you meant Open here today. Is that what you're talking about? Greg Ulysse, what's up in Quebec, Montreal? Did I say that right? Probably not. What's up, Roncha? Kamal was amazing again. The guys look crazy. Who gives a F? Max Charles always gets screwed. Kamal is narrow AF and small AF. I don't like his look so much as a 212. He does look a little more narrow. When he's filled out more, when he gets up to like, today I bet he was around, I'm going to guess like between, I'm pretty good with weight. I bet he was like between 219 and 221. So let's just say 220. Yeah, I mean, he's not the widest guy, but it's, you can argue. I mean, a lot of times when somebody's second place, they were probably good enough to win. but a lot of times you have two guys who are equally worthy of a win. What do? Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to take second. And they both have a lot of fans, so if Kamal had taken second, there'd be a lot of angry people here today. A lot of people saying he got robbed. When you got two guys who are really good, one of them's going to win and one of them's going to lose, and then the fans of the one who loses are not going to be happy about it, and I don't blame them. That's your guy. That's who you're rooting for. Let's see, this is the best Max ever. Yeah, I mean, if not the best, damn close. I mean, I've seen him look so good. The 2020 Arnold, where he only got like 7th, the Arnold Classic, that was literally the pandemic started like that weekend in March 2020. There was no masks, nothing like that. Max looked crazy there. He was working with Milos, just the detail in the serratus, the abs, the pecs, and he's got that again. And I hope he stays working with Milos. I bet he will. Let's see what else. The best Max ever. David Alwali, 40 is too young for Masters when you got guys 59 competing. Masters should get bumped up to 45 or 50. Yeah, I kind of hear that. At the same time, you want to see a lot of guys who are at or near their best. And if everyone's got to be over 50, let's say they made it 50. The numbers, it would be harder to get the numbers. You'd be getting a lot of really obscure people. Pretty much most of the guys who were very good pros and retired, by the time they're in their 50s, they have no interest in coming back. None. They're done. They've moved on with their lives. They don't want to take the gear. They don't want to eat all that food anymore. They don't want to train like that anymore. They did that for many, many years, and they've moved on to family, businesses, other things. They're done. So I think it would hurt the quality significantly if they bumped it up to over 50. They got to keep it over 40. But yeah, I agree. 40 is not very old. It's not. These days especially. You got a lot of guys in the open men bodybuilding over 40 and 212 over 40 looking crazy good still. So yeah, I get you. But, technically a lot of shows over 35 is Masters. We're talking about regional shows, local shows, Masters, National, stuff like that. To me, 35 as a Masters, that's laughable. I know they don't do it here, but what I'm saying is to call a 35-year-old a Masters competitor, that's like most guys when they're really getting to their peak. Most pro bodybuilders, especially, most of them, there's obviously guys who are younger like Nick Walker. There's some young guys who look great too, but most guys between 30 and 36, that's when they really hit their stride and look amazing. Most guys. Because it's when they get that muscle maturity. They've spent all those years getting the size, figuring out the conditioning, and now they're getting all that detail and things that they didn't have when they were younger. Let's see. Rob Bernica, I didn't watch the judging, so he didn't make top 10. I saw his updates. He looked okay. He was never like the greatest pro anyway. Crazy big, freaky arms. That's what he was known for. Big dude. Not the prettiest looking physique. What are you going to do? M12, do you think Kamal should go back to 212? No, he's already said he's never. He's categorically stated, I am not ever going back to 212. It's too hard for him to get down to the weight, even though he's probably 220, 222 at the most, I bet, now. It's still too hard for him. He's shredded at that weight. So where's the extra 10 pounds going to come from? If he's totally shredded out of his mind at, let's say, 220, 222, he would just lose muscle. And that's what he was doing. He was losing muscle for the past couple of years that he was doing 212. That's why his quad sweep would go down. He would look more narrow because the fullness for him would come from his delts and his quads. And that's obviously not a good look for anybody. So he said, or just do the Open Olympia as his final show. You already got 212 Olympia title. Yeah, so why not try something different? Yeah, because now he's qualified. Kamal is qualified for the Open Olympia. As a 212 Olympia champion in the past, he could always go back to the 212 Olympia. But if he had wanted to do the Open Olympia, say this year, without doing this, he would have had to try to get a special invitation. You're not when you're Olympia champion in one division, it only qualifies you for life. If you ever want to go back to Olympia, you can come back and compete in that division, your division. Otherwise, he would have had to get an invite. But we already have someone looking for the invite. Who was looking for that special invite that you guys are all butthurt about? I can't remember. I just interviewed him, didn't I? Probably. Someone else is asking about Josh. I don't know. Hi, Ron. When are you competing at Ruby class along with Giles? No, never. If I ever competed again, it wouldn't be a local show. I can't do a local show. Just because people would say, Not that I'm an awesome bodybuilder. I'm not. I never was. But people would say, why are you going back to this local show? You should be at least trying a pro qualifier. Because I've done the last few shows I did were all pro qualifiers. So, anyway, who cares about me? Kamal said he was 223 at prejudging. Okay, so I was off a little. 223. Wow. So, yeah, he's 11 pounds over the 212 limit in spectacular condition. So, for him to go down to 212, it would just be a loss of sheer muscle and fullness. It would not be a good look. He's not going to do it. Zuhar Ghazalani, did Jay end up posing? He did not pose. He went on stage, gave a little talk, then went back to the broadcast booth with Bob Chick. He was doing great commentary with Bob Chick on the Open Masters Mr. Olympia. He did not take his shirt off or anything, damn it. Joseba again, Ron, are you and Giles doing a preview for the upcoming Italy show? Probably. Yeah, I think we will. We'll do that later in the week. Josh Hotz, do you think Kamal will compete in the 212 Olympia or the Open Olympia? He'll do the Open. He has already said he's never doing a 212 show again. He said that last year. And he's kept his promise. He hasn't. He didn't do it. He wasn't at the Olympia. Was he at the Olympia? Let me see. 212. Ooh, he was third place at the Olympia. My mistake. Yeah, but he said after that was his last 212 show. He's already won the 212 Olympia. In the Open, he's not going to win the Open Olympia this year. Let's be real. But, top 10 is very realistic for him. It's going to be a tough show, the Olympia. Very tough show, obviously. It's the Olympia. It's the toughest show in the world. Muad Ben Musa, he won 212 and Open, so he's the first. Joseph Roblo, when you said Ken Jackson, I thought you were going to say Ken Jones. No, Ken Jones was not a very good bodybuilder. No. Joseva again. Yeah, I didn't see Jay hit any pose. He didn't. M12, why didn't Jay hit any pose? That was the best shape since retirement. Yeah, I thought he could have taken his shirt off and just hit a couple poses. Did he have shorts on? I can't remember. I mean, his legs look phenomenal. His legs always look phenomenal because he's got such crazy separation and striations in them. And he's in really good shape now. He got in great shape for his 50th birthday, which was a couple weeks ago. It was in early August. And yeah, I would have loved to see him jump in the show and compete. That was like my secret wish. Maybe Jay will compete. No, we didn't get that. That would be like Christmas coming in August. Melvin Mungo Jr., what was the 212 prize money? So prize money for everything else, all the other divisions, I did write this down. Okay, so every other division, where did I write it? Yeah, I can't even read my own writing good. Every other division got $10,000 for first prize. Open got 20. Gosh, I got so many notes, guys. I'm sorry. Where did I write it? Oh boy. Okay, so here's the money breakdown finally. So every other division this weekend, it was first prize $10,000, second $5,000, third $3,000, fourth $2,000, fifth $1,000. Open, what we just saw, Masters Mr. Olympia, $20,000 for first, $10,000 for second, $5,000 for third, $3,000 for fourth, $2,000 for fifth. Gosh, so many notes over there. Next Olympia qualifier show. We have only a couple more shows left, guys. So we have a show. Is there one next weekend? Oh, do we get next weekend off from shows? No, we don't. Yeah, we do. Yeah, so there's a pro show in Italy on September 10th. There's a European pro on the 17th. I'm assuming that is Spain. I think that's Alicante usually. And there's a pro show in France at the very end of the month. Oh my gosh. And then in October, there's Legion Sports on the 7th, and then a pro show in Italy on the 8th. So there's 2 pro shows coming up in Italy. Geez, there are a lot of pro shows in Italy. Gee. Let's see. Next Olympic qualifier show. What does special limitation stands for? Well, Mario, special limitation, the Olympia has always reserved the right to invite somebody who technically didn't qualify. So for the older guys, you remember Gunther Schlierkamp. Gunther was usually at the Olympia, but he didn't qualify to be in the Olympia. Joe Wieders loved Gunther because he was 6'2", blonde, blue-eyed, big white teeth. He sold a lot of Weider magazines and a lot of Weider supplements with his images. So Joe would get him on the Olympia stage every year. And eventually he placed, I think he did 5th one year. Did he do 3rd one year? And he beat Ronnie one year, a week or 2 after the Olympia at another show. But Gunther was always there on a special invitation. Cedric McMillan, rest in peace. He got a special invitation a couple years ago because of his Army duties. were so extensive. He was doing a lot of field operations. He couldn't qualify. They let him go in the Olympia with no qualification. Ramy, the year Ramy won the Olympia for the first time in 2021, he was there on a special invitation because the show he was supposed to qualify at, I can't remember where it was, in Europe somewhere, right? Spain maybe? He got COVID right before the show and they wouldn't let him compete. So he had to get a special invitation and he won the Olympia. So it's been, they can do whatever they want. It's their show. Did Dexter Jackson compete? No, he did not. Dexter's all done. He's retired. He's moved on. Family, businesses. He's good. He's all set. Nigel Christian, Max should never leave Milos and go to the legend. That's a great look to him. Yeah, more legs and he's right there. Ken looked great and Mike as well. Yes, I'd be butthurt if Breon got a special... Oh, it's Breon. I mean, why would you be so butthurt? Why can't Breon get a special invitation to 212? Why does it bother people so much? You know, because some guy that you followed had to qualify? Oh, well, like I said, guys, they can do whatever they want. I know it's a sport, but they still reserve the right to do a lot of things, you know, based on whatever whims that that might have. I would have no problem with Breon getting a special invitation. Why should he have to qualify? He's won the Olympia twice. It's not like he's some schmuck off the street. Nigel says 212 increased to 20,000 last minute. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that happened in Texas last weekend. At the very last minute, open was increased from 10,000 to 15, and I believe it was so that it would match the 15,000 that Sarah Villegas and her husband were giving the women's physique winner in Texas, because every other division was getting, I don't know, like 3,000 or something to win, and open men were getting 10. But Sarah Villegas, two-time Olympia women's physique champ, she and her husband, they sponsored the women's physique prize money at Texas Pro, and they were giving out 15,000 for the winner. So Freddie and Sheila at the last minute, at the finals night show, they announced 15,000 for the open men's winner. So Andrew Jack got 15,000 instead of 10,000. Natalia Coelho, hey Ron, what's up? Obrigado for joining us. Natalia Coelho is our reigning women's physique Olympia champion. She'll be battling against Sarah and the others in just 10 weeks from now. But, you know, she always looks ready to go on stage as far as I'm concerned. Shredded all the time. Complete professional. Nigel Christian, 212. Oh, we already said that. Fasting frugivore. What do you got fasting? I have to take a drink. I'm used to drinking so much water. If I don't keep the water coming, I get... All right, fasting frugivore. Kamal will do the open O. He can be in the second call out. Yeah. 220 plus this crazy condition. Come on, lads and lasses. Just look at Kamal. Yeah, I don't see him in the first call out. I don't. It's going to be a tough Olympia. Hottie, Derek, Nick, Brandon Curry, Ramy. Does anyone know? Samson, Andrew, Hunter. Does anyone know if Ramy's doing the Olympia? I haven't heard crap about Ramy doing the Olympia. He hasn't posted anything, said anything. Is he taking the year off? I have no idea. Does anybody know? Legions is the last qualifier in the U.S., says Natalia. From what I understand, and maybe I'm wrong, I've been wrong about 1 million times before, the show in Italy the next day after Legion is not a qualifier for the Olympia. It's a qualifier for 2024. It doesn't sound right to me. It's the same weekend. To me, that doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't they both be? Why would one that's just 24 hours later not be a qualifier? But that's what I was told a few months ago. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. It would seem silly, wouldn't it, to have Legion, a qualifier one day in Nevada for the Olympia, and then the very next day, another show that's qualifier, but it's not for this year, it's for next year. It does seem pretty strange. Mario, I get it now. Yeah, the special invite, they can give it to anybody, really. Anybody. It's it's something that's built into the Olympia. It's some people like it. They think it makes it exciting. Some people don't. M12, the first year Ramy won show, he didn't qualify. He was invited. Yeah, that's what I said. He got COVID. He was supposed to jump into do some show. I think it was a European Pro. I think it was a Spain show, and he tested positive for COVID right before he was heading off to the venue, and they wouldn't let him compete. Obviously, that was 2021. The pandemic was still going strong, and he got the special invite, and he won the Olympia. So it's not like the special invite is for schmucks and nobodies and losers that can't qualify. That's what some people seem to think it is. Nigel Christian Lomax, there are plenty of shows he can qualify just like everyone else. Classic Olympia is not the same as 212. Just like 212 is not the same as the Open. If you had an issue like Cedric and Rami, no problem. It doesn't bother me. Jen says, the cutoff for Olympia is October 7th. They make an exception. We'll see. Yeah, hey, Jen. Good morning. Good afternoon. What am I saying? Yeah, that seems really strange to me that the show the very next day wouldn't be a qualifier for this year. M12, Rami will probably do the Olympia. He said it before. He doesn't care about results. He's doing it because he loved the sport. He did. There was advice. There was a video where Steve Weinberger, the head judge for Olympia, said in his opinion, Rami should take a year off, let his body just sort of reset, recalibrate, reboot, and then come back strong for 2024 and maybe get his title back. Okay, so Nigel says the second show in Italy is a qualifier for 2024. You are correct. They did it last year too. Thank you, Nigel. But isn't that strange? So you could compete one day and qualify for the Olympia, theoretically get on a plane. No, I don't know if this is even, the schedule is even possible. Get on a plane and then qualify for the next year's Olympia. How crazy would that be? A. Torres, Elgargni at his age has a crazy body. I mean, it's so insane how he's so big and shredded. Yeah, 52 years old in November, and he's still at the very top of his game when most pros, and especially guys who have been at it as long as Kamal, he's been competing about 30 years. He's not a newbie to the sport. He is a veteran, a real veteran. So for him to still be on top of his game, and his legs haven't gone, and there's no torn body parts, there's no loose skin, it's very rare. Usually you see a lot of that. Like when the Masters Olympia was held years ago, you did see a lot of that. It was older. They had different categories then. I think they had over 40, 50, and 60. I believe they had back in those. And some of the guys were looking rough. Like they had very little muscle left. It was a lot of loose hanging skin, wrinkles. It was embarrassing because these are guys who I had remembered like in their prime. Like the late Ed Corney is a good example. I'm not singling him out because I loved Ed Corney, loved his physique, loved his posing. He was great in the movie Pumping Iron. But when he came back at Masters Olympia, I think did he have a stroke before or after? Anyway, it was just, you saw some guys who it was like a shadow of their former selves. And it was sad to see. And I don't want to see that. I want to see people at their best, or at least very close to it. Joseba, the show James Hollingshead won in Spain. Yeah, so Rami would have been in that show. October 20, was it 2020? No, because Rami won. Yeah, you're right. Rami won the Olympia in 2020 and 21, because obviously Hadi won in 2022. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, you're right. So Rami probably would have beat James Hollingshead, but James got in there. But they both ended up at the Olympia. Oh, man. Let's see. Fasting. Natalia, the previous 2 years, Legions qualified for the following year, but Milos mentioned on a podcast this year is different. Not sure. I'll double check. I saw, Natalia, a few places where Legion is a qualifier for this year's Olympia. It's the very last chance. So if that's right, it's if the Italy show is for next year, then Legion Sports in October in Nevada is the last chance for anyone who has not yet qualified for Olympia to get their ticket. M12, why do show this year and way before this year Olympia to qualify for next year Olympia? That's weird. Well, M12, they've been structuring it a certain way for a while now, where there'd be these post-Olympia shows. They were after the Olympia, and that made sense. Obviously, yeah, the Olympia is already over. You can't qualify can't go back in time. So they would have all these post-Olympia shows, like the Grand Prix shows you used to have. But they would have, 3, 4, 5 shows after the Olympia where you could qualify for the next year's Olympia. Now it seems to have swung where they still have post-Olympia shows, but they also have pre-Olympia. You know what changed is the Olympia is being held later in the year than it used to. Olympia used to always be September, October. Now it's been December, now it's November. So you have the Olympia, and then 3 weekends in a row you have shows. You have Romania, the Muscle Fest. You have the Prague, EVLS Prague show the weekend after that. You have a Japan Pro. I don't see anything in December, although my free trial for Sirius Radio is over on the 9th. But, yeah, so I hope that answers that. Let's see. Yeah, so Nigel says, I believe Brett qualified at the Italian show last year for this year's Olympia. Did he win the Italy show? I thought he won the Romania. Didn't he win Romania? You might be right. I mean, Giles has that awesome memory. I do not. I don't have a memory that. Jen says, Legion is going to be a wild card, 100%. Yeah, because, I mean, who's left? I'm looking at the top 10 for this last Olympia. So the top 5 guys are already qualified, which was Hadi, Derek, Nick, Brandon, and Rami. Samson was 6th place last year. He's qualified already. He won the Arnold. Hunter's qualified. He won Tampa. Andrew Jack is qualified. He won Texas. Bonek is taking this year off. Rafael Brandeo, I think he's taking this year off. I haven't heard anything from him. 11th place was Ian Valliere. He won Toronto. He's qualified. 12th place was Crizo. He won that Empro show, right? He's qualified. That was the top 12 from the last Olympia. Yeah, Patrick Johnson, Charles Griffin, Justin Rodriguez. Griffin, I've been seeing. Griffin's probably going to pop up at one of these shows. Charles Griffin. He's looking crazy thick and round and full. He looks like he's getting in really good shape. So Griffin he's probably going to hit one of these shows. Maybe he'll hit Legion. I don't know. Charles, very good. Jen also says Brett won Big Man last year. So that was what, Portugal? Big Man weekend? Big Man Pro. Yeah. I get confused. I'm easily confused. That was the last chat. Charles Griffin, Beef Stew at Legion. Yeah. Beef Stew still needs to qualify if he wants to. I don't know if Stu's doing anything else this year. I suspect Stu's going to take the year off and come back at a spring show next year. He's just a young guy. He just needs time. He's going to be very good. He just needs time. Nigel says, I could see Max doing Legion. He should. Yeah, and I mean, he didn't do a bunch of other shows this year. But this is where we're seeing the point system having a deleterious effect where some guys, there are a few guys that would have gotten in the Olympia on points, obviously that they're not going to now because you can't. Fasting asks, Jen, is James being trained by Milos or a new coach? James Hollingshead? Which James are we talking about? Who else is James? I don't know who you're talking about. Nigel says, thank you, Jen. I forgot about the BM show. Big Man Pro Weekend. James being coached by Milos. You talk about James Hollingshead? Yeah, I was wondering when James is going to pop up. Carlos shutting it down this year, but would have loved to see him at Legion. He could win. Yeah, Carlos just needs more condition, especially from the back. Carlos Thomas Jr., tremendous physique. Great debut. M12, Nick Strength Power said Thomas Jr. will do a show in Europe. Is it confirmed he will do it? He just did an interview with Giles Thomas that was up Wednesday on MD Global Muscle, where he said he is not doing any more shows this year. He's done for this year. So unless he just changed his mind, since they did the interview a week ago. We did it because Sunday, yeah. They did it the day after the show. So unless he's changed his mind between then and now. Yes, James H. Hollings is being trained by Milos. Oh, wow, great. I think Milos is an excellent coach. We have some great coaches in this game. Obviously, Hani Rambod's amazing. Chad, Matt Jansen, Patrick Tour, Milos. There's a few more. George Farrah's not working with open guys right now, I don't think. What's this say? Smart move by James H. Yeah. James worked with Patrick. I thought Patrick did a good job with him too. But, sometimes it's just who you really click with as a coach and a client. These coaches are all very, very skilled. They're all very good at what they do. Can I get a special invitation of blonde blue eyes? Well, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Stupid. I'm being like, why couldn't I get an invitation? So Andy, if you know who Andy Samberg used to be on SNL. He has his own show now, but he used to do this Nicolas Cage thing he would come on Weekend Update, and the joke was like he would do like any movie. He was like he wouldn't say no to any movie. So if he saw a movie he wasn't in, Andy would be like, as a Nicolas Cage voice, why wasn't I in this movie? I was told the actors were fed. So I joke with my son, why wasn't I in the Masters Olympia? Well, first of all, you're not a pro, Ron. Maybe that's number one. S. McGee, I thought Phil could have won, but I'm happy Kamal won. Phil, this was not Phil's 100% today. He was like 85%. I've seen him better. And he looked damn good. Nothing to be ashamed of. Fasting for yes, indeed, James will be a different package. M12, not smart move by James H. to skip this year Olympia. He's getting older. Probably end up like Sergio Oliva. James isn't that old. James is younger than you think. I think he's only, I want to say 34. I don't think he's any older than that. Yeah, Phil already qualified for the O. Yeah. For those who don't remember, Phil Clahar won the Orlando Pro. He's already qualified for the Mr. Olympia. He's already going to Mr. Olympia. So he would have Love to have won today, but he didn't need the win today to get to the Olympia. He's already got his qualification. Hello, Jen. Yeah, well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. So once again, lost all my notes. Good Lord, Ron. Get it together, Ron. First place was Kamal Elgargni. Congratulations, $20,000. Second place, $10,000, Max Charles. Third place, Phil Clayhard, the Jamaican Tank. Fourth place, Fred Biggie Smalls. Fifth place, Ken Jackson. Congrats to all of them, especially Fred and Ken. To see them in the top 5 in the Masters is very, very rewarding. I've known both of these guys. You know, I've known most of these people for a very, very long time. So I'm a fan of all of them. I root for all of them. I know this sport it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice. There's not a lot of money in it. So these guys do it for the love and the passion. They're not doing it for the paycheck because there's not a lot of money in it. It's not like, you know, the guy that sits on the bench on the Super Bowl team makes, you know, 5 times what Mr. Olympia makes. Let's see, Phil didn't have that much pressure. Mario, I hope Andrew Jack move up some places in this year's Olympia. Well, I don't see him not moving up. Andrew was 8th place last year. Very sure he's top 5 this year. I would bet good money on it. I'm not a gambling man, but I would bet. Great job, Ron. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy your Sunday. I think I'll train. Yeah, Christian, I was going to wait to train with Christian, but then he said no. Well, I'm probably going to train. Anyway. Later on. All right, later, Natalia. Thank you, Natalia, for joining us. She's in her Olympia prep for the Physique Olympia title. Master Olympia was awesome. Yeah, as a serious master, almost 54 years old, I love seeing these guys who are, you know, when I was a kid, 50 was very old, very old. That was like an old man. 50 is not what it used to be. People take care of themselves a lot better now. But bodybuilders, it's really encouraging. It's motivating for me to see these guys still on top of their game. Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. Andrew Jack will make top 5, yeah. Andrew placing 4 at 6, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tough Olympia, but he's great. We'll see what happens. You know, that's obviously what this is all leading up to. Oh, Nigel, you're 53 too? Well, you're still 50. You're 53 this year. I was born in the 60s, 1969. You were probably born in 1970, like Janet. Melvin Mungo, short guys need more respect. I'm still lazy. Oh, I'm 5'7.5". I think short guys should get a lot more respect. Why should you get more respect just because God made you tall? You know, does a giraffe have to work hard to be tall? No. No. Just like a gorilla doesn't have to work hard to be all jacked. That's just the way they're made. M12 Masters Olympia was a lot better than what we expected when they announced it first. Yeah. Honestly, I was secretly hoping we'd see more of these past greats, but then I realized most of them have moved on with their lives. They have no interest in doing this anymore. So, and I want to see people who are still actively competing, like we did see. You know, Max is still up. Max and Phil are still very, very active open pros. They did very well. What happened with Josh? I don't know. Is it possible Nick drops out of top 5? Anything's possible. Anybody shows up the Olympia off for whatever reason, which it could be like food poisoning. Something weird things go wrong at the last minute that you have no expectations of. I mean, if anybody shows up off, they're out of the top 5. Derek, Hadi, and Simpson, my top 3. Yeah, we'll be talking more about the Olympia guys in the weeks to come. I'd really hope Jay would have done it. Yeah. Yeah, Jen, I was like praying, oh, come on, Jay, I want to see Jay Cutler. Come on, Jay, do it. I even told him the last time I saw him a couple months ago. I said, Jay, you got to do it. He's like, nah. I knew he wasn't going to do it. I still was hoping he would, but oh well. Anyway, guys, please turn on your notifications on your YouTube settings and on your phones so you know when we have all these great videos and content and, you know, Ronline reports and MD Global Muscle and all kinds of stuff, Buff Bombshells. We got all kinds of great content coming up this week. So please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, that's it. All right, that's it. Appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you later.